Hi, and welcome to the episode today where we have the lovely Jacque Opie and also Kim as well, her sister. And the reason why we're doing this show is because Jacque and Kim went over to South Africa literally in a heartbeat. Their lives just were turned upside down in a heartbeat, and they're not going to be here in Australia by the sounds of it for Christmas. So I want to, first of all, thank you lovely ladies for coming on. It's absolutely amazing to be able to speak to you live. And Jacque, can you share a little bit about why you're in South Africa and why it's so important to be there right now?
Thanks, Sue Ellen, for having us here, because it's just amazing to be able to actually get this message out to so many different people. And I tell you, the phone call that we got maybe 4 weeks ago, sis, when we got a phone call from my uncle in South Africa to say that my mum was not well. And in a way, it was kind of a relief to have that phone call, because those kind of phone calls living overseas, you kind of think the worst when you get those phone calls. And I'm just so grateful that it wasn't the worst. So the call that we got was to say that my mum was in hospital and that it was suspected to be cancer. She had an inflamed liver with a lot of lesions on it. And that was really pretty much all we knew before we got on a plane to come over here.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? That's so fast. And what just describe sort of like what is actually happening, for your mum and what your mum is going through at the moment.
So today's actually a really good day. Kim and I woke up.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Mm. We woke up this morning, and like every other morning, we sneak a peek into, like, one of us have been sleeping on the floor in her bedroom every night to make sure that she's okay, and we can jump up and grab her, whatever she needs at night. And when we woke up this morning, we snuck that little peek into the room to see her sprawled all over her bed in a position different to what she's been sleeping in, which has been amazing, right?
Yeah, it was really good to see. Mm.
So, but that changes day to day. Today's a good day. Yesterday was a great day. Previous to that, it's been an amazing journey and transformation for her. When we first got here, the first time we saw my mum, she was pretty drugged up. She was high on all the pain meds that she was taking, all of the prescription medication that she was on, and that was really, really hard to see. And both Kim and I were pretty shocked to see her in that state.
Yeah.
It's just to think that life has changed so fast for the two of you. And, when you first arrived in South Africa and you saw your mum, was she in hospital then, or was she home?
She had just been discharged. So she was home, yeah. She had just gotten home that day.
Yeah, and just take me through, like, what is the health system like in South Africa? Like, if you don't have private health in South Africa, what does it look like?
We were so happy to have her home that day, put it that way. Like, the thought of her being in that hospital, I mean, I think that was what was eating us up the most, is knowing that she was lying in that hospital. We had, with no linen, being served dry bread, morning, afternoon, dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing that really shocked me was the cleanliness. It's hard to say this, and it's hard for people outside of, out of South Africa or other third world countries where the medical system just doesn't have what we're so used to in Australia. So, for years, there were 25 years I've been living in Australia, and I'm so used to being able to, say, walk into an emergency room in South Africa and in Australia and have everything that we need at our fingertips. The one thing that's been amazing here is the support of doctors and nurses has been fantastic. So in a way, it's really hard to be super critical of the medical system, because they really do know what they're doing. I mean, the hospital that my mum was at is called the Baragwanath Hospital, which is one of the biggest hospitals in
the world.
And it's where all of their training happens for medical students. So on the one hand, we knew that my mum was in really good care. On the other hand, they are so under-resourced that it's unbelievable. And the cleanliness was one of the biggest issues. I mean, the bathrooms were, I don't know, it was kind of like walking into a squatter camp. That's what it felt like when you walked into the bathrooms. And the feeling to leave my mum there, because she was back in hospital for 3 nights while we were, doing other things and waiting for other tests. And that's when we decided that we just couldn't have that. We couldn't leave her in that situation with some people who were ill, like with contagious illnesses like tuberculosis, which is very common in South Africa. And 2 people in my mum's ward had tuberculosis. Now, with such a low immune system, the option of leaving her there just wasn't.
It wasn't an option. Yeah. And they're just so chock-a-block, aren't they? They're so full. These patients sitting, waiting on chairs for beds. I mean, the first night my mum was there, she was sitting in a chair for basically the entire day until 10 o'clock that night, waiting for a bed on these strong medication. Not even with it, really. Yeah, desperate for a bed.
Wow, that's a long time when you're not feeling well, and you just all you want to do is get comfortable and get looked after, and so they don't have the kind of you were saying that she got to eat bread. I mean, so she wasn't even getting sustained in
no.
Yeah, that's it just makes us realize how lucky we are here in Australia that even in emergency ward we get treated a lot better like that, let alone waiting for a bed that long. It's incredible. And so what is your mother, what's the condition she's got, and what is the treatment that is available to her, and what's the sort of time frame that you're looking at?
So it's stage 4 cancer, which is terminal. There is no stage 5, and Mom's decided not to take on any treatment in terms of chemo. She probably wouldn't be well enough to do that. She's about 50 kilos at the moment, so she wouldn't be strong enough anyway. And yeah, it's just not an option for her. She doesn't want to go down that route, does she?
No, and I mean, even speaking to one of the doctors at the hospital, they said to us that my mum just isn't strong enough to go through any chemo or radiation. And so we had the option of doing further testing to find out more about what her diagnosis is. But what the doctor's saying, based on the scans, that the x-rays and the sonars that they've looked at, is that she has lung cancer. And she has, I keep forgetting the word for the liver.
She's got metastasized lesions on her liver.
And so basically what that means is that it's likely that the cancer has spread from her lungs into her liver. And by the time it gets to that stage, that's why it is stage 4 cancer, because it has spread throughout. And she could have cancer in other parts of her bodies, but because we've chosen not to do chemo, when I say we, I mean my mom, and we support her, because she's chosen not to do chemo and radiation, there is no point in doing further testing that's invasive into her body. She's already under a huge amount of stress. So that's about as much as we know, and we can tell enough from the scans and the sonars that it is pretty critical. And
surgery is not an option as either. This far down the track, the doctors also said surgery would. There is no way they would recommend surgery.
It's incredible, isn't it? And Michael Clark's just said, is your mum in South Africa? And yes, Michael, yeah, she is. And South Africa's a long way away, and I know that that you ended up leaving within a few days to be able to get your passports, and Kim, you've got your children over in South Africa as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right, because Lee, my partner, has had to stay in Australia to hold the fort, and him having to work and look after the kids at the same time wasn't really an option. And I knew that it would be beneficial to my mother seeing the grandchildren, because she misses them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
I can't even imagine what the two of you are going through right now. How I'd like to sort of ask you, like, individually, like, how have you both coped? Like, starting off with you, Jackie. Like, I mean, this has literally, like, changed your lives in a heartbeat. You're going along, living your life, focusing on, I know you were really focusing on your business, and then next minute your bags are packed and you're in South Africa. Like, how are you keeping it together?
So, Ellen, to be honest, I don't think I would be doing what I am doing without Kim. Like, you've been my absolute rock. And the most beautiful thing is that Kim and I have just, I feel, have become so much closer. Not that we weren't close before, but we just really, I don't know, we've just fallen into our groove of really understanding, what our roles are in this and how we can really support my mum, but really, truly support each other. We've had some of our own practices, like our hot lemon drink in the morning, our cup of tea. We meditate when we get the chance, and when we remember to. We make sure that each other have had breaks, and we just really share the load. And I think that's been a huge part of it as well. Also, the biggest thing for me, Sue Ellen, has been coming to terms with being able to ask for help, and to know what my limits are, and to know where other people really can support what we're doing. And the biggest challenge was creating the GoFundMe page, because, like, I'm not working. My business has come to a complete standstill. I'm not doing anything at all in relation to it. And even that's been challenging for me, because that was my baby, but the things that were so important to me 4 weeks ago just don't seem that relevant anymore, given the circumstances that we're in. So in terms of coping, I think for me, seeing the changes in my mom so quickly is what drives me every single day to go, this is worth it. This is somebody's life. And Kim and I have really taken that commitment, because we're not relying on any doctors other than a really good friend of ours, Neola, who has been amazing in providing us with so much background support and doing the research for us, because every single day, from the time we open our eyes to the time we go to sleep, we're doing something to prep to support my mum's recovery. So it's certainly not been done on our own. So getting all of that help from external and being able to ask, and even, to the point where I think, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I can ask anymore. The reason I'm asking is because I know that my mum's life is in our hands, and she trusts us implicitly, and there's a huge responsibility that comes with that. So mostly coping is just by doing stuff every single day, one foot in front of the other, and just keep doing what we know we have to do.
Mm.
Oh, that's, thank you so much, Jackie, for sharing. It's just sharing that snapshot. So, like, if we were to look into your life for a day with your mum, like, what does that involve with caring for your mum? Like, just a brief snapshot of what that's actually involves.
Yeah. So as Jackie was saying, we've both just sort of assumed these roles, haven't we? So a lot of my time is spent in the kitchen, because I believe, diet is key at the moment. So I spend a lot of my time cooking in the kitchen. Up until today, my mom's been sleeping a lot, so that's, allowed the time for that. But when she's awake, we just take those opportunities to sit on the end of her bed and just say whatever's in our heart, and hope that she does the same, which I think she does, doesn't she?
She absolutely does. She knows it.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I'm so grateful for is that Kim is incredible in the kitchen, and I think you understate what you do. Like, it's not just the time in the kitchen; it's the research that goes into every meal. Like, because my mom has had to become a vegan overnight, with because she said she's totally on board. So because she's on board, she's kind of everything that we're doing is for her. So Kim's been a vegan for how long?
About 7 months.
So everything that Kim's learned in that time is now being implemented. How to make sure that we have all the right proteins for my mom and all of that stuff. And the amazing thing, the benefit for me is I'm so healthy because I turned vegan overnight as well, because I have somebody who's cooking for me every single day, which is pretty amazing.
That's pretty good. And then you don't have to do the cooking, so that is always a bonus. I just like to go back a section because Nicola is watching, and she just said that you're welcome with all the help that she's given the two of you. So I just wanted to acknowledge that you've got so much support at home and also over in South Africa as well. Is that your mum?
Yeah. It's my mum and visitors as well. I don't think they know that we're on a live, so but it's awesome because that's been a huge thing as well. What we've realised is the importance of relationships and making sure that my mum's surrounded by people who love and care for her, and she's got a lot of those, that's for sure. My uncle's trying to make, I think he'd like to join us on the live. Like the rest of them laugh.
Bring your uncle in. He lives in South Africa, your uncle?
Yes. Do you want to say hi? You. So old? Do you know this? We said we got the phone call from my uncle. This is my uncle Eric. Come closer.
No, that's fine.
No? Who my mom was living with, my uncle Eric and my auntie Sharon as well, who've been incredible support, and family's been absolutely huge in what we're doing. It's massive.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine, and it's if people want to donate to the GoFundMe page, I've got a link up on the screen. I've just got a link up on the screen. Share a little bit about the GoFundMe and where the money that you're raising is going to go. The guests.
So, Sue Ellen, the GoFundMe page has been really interesting because what we've realised is that there is so much that we want to do, and even if, can you hold on for a sec?
Yeah.
Even although there are things that we can do within the public system, there's not a lot that is available easily and freely at no cost. Even things like getting organic food here is really, really challenging. And there may be some amazing places that do it, but the time and energy that goes into sourcing that food is huge, because organic food is like one of the top health benefits that we can give my mom. So because we're not choosing conventional medicine, we're looking at alternatives. So things like vitamin C infusions, which at the moment we're doing weekly, will cost about 1,000 Rand to about $100. We're doing that weekly at the moment. We eventually want to be doing that on a daily basis, which vitamin C is incredible to the healing process, to building up immunity, and to also getting rid of all the cells in the body, the cancer cells in the body. We also have found an amazing foundation called the Bobby Hatch Green Foundation, which we've been getting a lot of my mom's supplements from. That's a pack that we're buying every month. It costs about $150 per month, making sure that she's got access to all of the best medical people who can actually help us and support us. And even that, buying a car, having accommodation while we're here, all of those things are expenses that we don't want money to be the thing to get in the way of my mom's health, of her getting better. So that's why the GoFundMe page. And I've absolutely been blown away by people's generosity so far, and complete strangers, people who don't know us, who don't know my mum, but are compassionate to the story that we're telling and to this journey that we're on, have been donating. And it's just felt like my heart is so filled with gratitude for the love and support that's out there. It's been amazing.
It's absolutely incredible. I've been watching the funds go up on the GoFundMe page, and really every little bit helps when you're so far away. And how long are you going to be in South Africa for? Like, have you got any return date, or it's just play it by ear?
Kim heads back on the 20th of January. She'll be taking the children back with her then. My ticket's booked for the 25th of February. I won't be going back on that date. It's very unlikely. I spoke to my husband yesterday, who's in Australia. My family are over there. And he said to me, babes, if it takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. If it takes a year, it takes a year. I have no expectation for when I'll be back. But my goal is that when my mum is well and my mum is settled, that's when I can go home. So I'm here till then.
Fabulous. What an incredible attitude. And you know, I know I was speaking to you before and you said, like, this has so changed me as a person. And I'd like to go into a little bit of, like, how have you changed from this experience? Like, you know, I only saw you just, you know, briefly before you went. And, you know, and I've known you for a long time. So who is the Jacque Opie that we're looking at now, and what has changed you?
The biggest thing for me is realizing how precious life really is, and how easy it is to tip the balance from health to non-health. And for me, my most important thing now is me. Even although I'm here supporting my mum, I know that I have to look after myself, because just most lit up healthy version of myself, it takes daily practices. And I had daily practices before and I thought they were great and I thought they served me, but this has taken me to a whole new level, going from eating meat and dairy and not really, you know, being that stressed about my health, to going, this is the only thing that is really that important to me. Makeup, good clothes, you know, a fancy business, all of that stuff, when our health is gone, it is absolutely meaningless. And I've heard that from other people before, you know, and other people that have been on their own health journeys. When you hear the words, yeah, of course your health is important, this is a different level of understanding how important that is, because it's the only thing inside of my control is my health, what I put into my body. And that's been the biggest change for me. The other thing for me, Sue Ellen, is I've realized how strong I am. Like I remember saying to Craig, if you ever get sick, this is my husband, if you get sick and I have to wipe your bum, I tell you what, you better go into care, because I'm not doing it. Because honestly, I couldn't see myself ever doing that. And now spending this time with my mom, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for every little thing that I get to do for her, because it's another day, another moment that I get to spend with her. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing in that moment. It really doesn't matter. I could be administering medication. I could be feeding her. I could be, you know, watching her breathe. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't want anybody else doing that except for me and my sister and my brother. So I think that's the biggest way for me. And and also the gratitude. Like, I'm just, you know, I've always been a very grateful person, but for me this is gratitude at another level. Gratitude to the higher power, to source, to God, the universe, for this opportunity. You know, when I got that phone call from my uncle, the thing that I've always, you know, living so far away from my family, the thing that I've always been worried about is getting that call and somebody saying, your mom's gone. I'm so grateful that that wasn't that call. This call has given me the opportunity to actually come here and to bring her back to health. So gratitude's been huge for me.
That's so powerful, Jacque. You know, it's not until we're actually in the situation. I mean, how many times have you heard over your lifetime, you know, like, friendships are precious and family is precious, and then it's like, oh no, I'll just do this with the business, or I'll just do this, and it, you know, the really important things keep getting put off. And the big message that I'm hearing from you today, Jacque, is that there may not be a tomorrow. There may not be, you know, it's like when kids are in front of you, it's like, you know, be there for them, the family. Oh, here we go. Here's your mum. Oh my gosh.
Nice and close, Mum.
Oh, hello. It's good to see you. And how how has it been having Jacque and Kim in your presence again, when, you know, you haven't seen them for so long? Has your health improved because your environment has improved?
Definitely through having them here. Sorry. Has given me purpose, you know. Okay, can you?
She's not talking.
That's all right. Yeah, purpose is amazing. So when you were in the hospital and you found out that you had the cancer, and then Jackie and Kim came over, has your health dramatically improved just because of their presence, or because of the medication?
No, definitely the two together. Seeing Cassidy and Luke seems to have given me a stronger will and determination and appreciation. But it's definitely a combination of the lot.
Yeah, beautiful. And when it's like, as far as how you're feeling now with the treatment that Jackie and Kim and you are now going through, how much is that alternative medicine, you know, helping you now that you've been on it for a while? Like, can you notice the difference within yourself?
100%, 100%. It's been tough, you know. The beginning wasn't easy; it just got easier. I suppose as my body was adjusting to the changes, having given up so much in a matter of a day, is going from coffee to sugar to my smoking to everything I loved eating was zapped away out from underneath my nose, like coffee, and my morning coffee is now replaced with green juice that looks like dead seawater. And bits of sand at the bottom. Wow.
So, but apart from the look of the food and the drink, is you're actually feeling like you can feel the difference from making those changes, even though they were such a sudden change?
They were actually so sudden that you don't even realize that, gee, it was not just the coffee. It's like, you know, a couple of spoons go in my tea, and then it was bread, like no bread, then it's no meat, no fish, no. Where've all these good things gone and been replaced by these little monsters on my plate?
The very same monsters that are healing you, but anyway.
I love the fact that you've still got you've got a fantastic sense of humour, and you've got such an incredible support network with, you know, your two girls and your grandchildren and everyone that loves you abroad as well. You know, if there was one piece of advice that you would give families who are going through something similar, what advice would that be?
Do the right thing. Eat the right thing. Give up what's not good for you. Because at the end of the day, we all our worst. You know, we know that we're feeding our bodies a lot of crap. Every cigarette that I used to have, I'd say, wow, do you really need this? And I've given up, and I've started and given up. And now, you know, this had to happen for me to realize that if I have one cigarette now, I have messed up every bit of work that my girls have put into helping me. So I would just advise anybody, you know, I really can't say do chemo or do radiation because I know nothing about it. But from what I've heard, I'd rather go through what I'm going through now and missing my piece of steak than having to go through what I've just been through.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well done, Stephanie. You know, it's it was like what Jackie was saying before. Like, it's not until you're really pressed with such a serious situation that a person will make a change, whether it's to spend more time with family, whether it's to give up those cigarettes or eat healthier. You know, we're coming up to New Year's with New Year's resolutions. And, you know, there are so many precious takeaways in this conversation right here about not putting anything off that is truly, really important, because you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, if...
but it's given me, you know, it's given me a whole different outlook on life itself. Like I get this feeling of gratitude towards the earth for supplying the weed and the girls being here with me. It's like the gratitude is so strong that it brings tears to my eyes. Like, how could anybody be so blessed? And after what I've done to my body, they're still here to help me pick up the pieces. So the gratitude, yeah, it can certainly bring tears to my eyes, because I don't know how to really express gratitude. How do they know how grateful I am? Do they know? So that's one thing I want them to know. My family, by far, outweighs any. They won't let me go. They the love is really hard finding words here. Yeah, so the gratitude and the different things that I actually that I so took for granted. I look outside now and it's just so gorgeous. The sun is shining, the trees are gorgeous, the garden is lovely, and had it not been for the people that know me and the people that I know, I would not be sitting here today.
You know, would you ever imagine that you could have so much gratitude, you know, in a moment like this where, you know, I know there's been times in your life where you felt, you know, particularly lonely, and, you know, the love that you are experiencing now, you know, it's just so beautiful, and it's there to be experienced by everyone in our lives. You know, it's like when the chips are down and you really need to rally together, you know, look at how your family has rallied around you, and how much of a special person, you know, that you are in their lives, and that they are in your lives. So I think it's it's a beautiful. I think it's beautiful how love really can conquer all, and, you know, Jackie is the love coach after all. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
And the two of them make such a good team. You know, they really. Jackie's mixing my concoction in the kitchen. Kim won't go there and say that's too much of that and too little of that. I think Jackie's figured it out like a pro, yeah.
But it sounds like you're in perfect hands, and doesn't look like Jackie's going anywhere anytime too soon. So, you know.
I also don't want to keep her from her family, you know. So it's up to me now.
That's it.
My first writing in my journal this morning was that my life is in my hands now, because I could turn around in bed last night. Hallelujah. No, that's so cool.
And it is those little things, isn't it, that really, you know, you take for granted. You know, most of us turn over in bed.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
when
and then you
can't,
get your breakfast in bed. When you get your breakfast in bed and you go, oh no, but you're still alive.
yeah, beautiful. Well, I really want to encourage anyone who's watching or is watching the replay to, you know, to donate whatever you can. You know, any little bit helps. You know, while Jackie's over in South Africa, putting her business on hold to 100% look after her mum and really help to bring her the love and the joy and the wisdom that she can. So it's beautiful to see the two of you together. It's beautiful to see that you can smile and laugh even in amongst the situation, and it's beautiful that there is just so much love between your family. And I know there's a lot of love from over in Australia, and there's probably other people that you know around the world. So I want to say a big thank you. Is there any last messages or last words that either of you want to share before we head off this evening?
I would just like to say, don't ever give up. Don't doubt. And look to the future with a positive attitude and the diet and over away.
Well said,
And I'm
Stephanie.
sure I'll see you. Sorry?
I said well said, Stephanie.
Okay then.
I would like just really to say thank you so much, because the love and support that we've received, Kim, myself, my mom, my brother, all of our family have just received such beautiful messages, and some of what we're doing has been through what people have shared with us. You know, I've been receiving messages from complete strangers saying, hey, you know, I've seen the journey that you're on with your mom. Please read this article, or here's a video to watch. And anything that comes through that's inspiring like that and supports us on this journey is just so very welcome. Of course, along with some funds on the GoFundMe campaign, because it doesn't happen for nothing. And I'm always supporting other people's causes, and this is me asking for help and support in this cause. It's the most important cause of my life. So thank you so much for your love and support.
Well, thank you so much for asking for help, because I know that it's not always easy, and particularly if someone who's a giver, like such a giver like Jackie, and we've got Kim back again as well. And is there anything that you'd like to say before we head off this evening?
Yeah, a huge thanks as well, because none of this would be possible without the support we've received this far, not only from our family and our friends, but even some people we don't even know. And that's, yeah, like Jackie said, it's the most important fight we'll ever fight in our lives. And we want to fight it, don't we, Mum?
Oh yes, to the end. Or to the beginning.
Absolutely. Beginning, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, beautifully said. Thank you very much. And I'm going to let you all, ladies all gather around and enjoy the rest of your day together. So good health and good healing, and I'm sure some wonderful things are going to, memories and experiences and times together that you're experiencing right now will be with you for a lifetime. So, if anyone
Absolutely.
can make some money, go for it. But, you guys absolutely rock it and are the epitome of what happens when a family rallies together and supports each other. Miracles and anything is possible when that happens.
Absolutely, because a week ago, Mum wouldn't have been able to sit here on this video with us. The transformation in the last couple of days is phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah. And it goes on daily, like the daily improvements. So
yeah.
That's so beautiful. I'm going to start crying now. I'm so touched. I can feel the love all the way from South Africa, and I know you ladies have all got each other's backs, and you know, love conquers all. Love brings everything together. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your day, and yeah, let's help to raise the funds and see if we can get as many dollars to be able to, you know, help the treatment continue on, because it's obviously working really well. So thank you so much, Stephanie, Jackie, and Kim, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ellen. Bye. Take care. Bye.